cycle, it basically starts with the creation of a demand and ends with the technically completion of the production order or the process order. So the first step is basically to create a demand, since we are planning to go with the MRP. So if MRP is not needed, you can actually skip all these steps and directly go to the creation of the production orders. So since it also talks about the planned orders created through MRP, so let's start with the demand creation. So once the demand has been created, and the demand can be a sales order, it can be a safety stock, or it can be a planned independent requirement or the forecast based planning on that particular finished product. So once the demand has been created, the next step is basically to run MRP. So during the MRP, system is going to evaluate the existing stock levels for the particular finished product versus the total requirement quantity. So if there is a shortage, MRP is going to create planned orders for the in-house manufactured items. And in the process of the MRP, it will also create purchase requisitions for the raw materials, which are basically part of the bill of material. So it again checks the stock statistics for those raw materials, and accordingly the proposals will be created at down the level. So once the planned order has been created, this is for the finished product. So we convert the planned orders into the production order or the process orders. So now the creation of the production order or the process order, it basically depends on the scenario we are following. So let's say if we are in the discrete manufacturing process, then we go with the production orders. But in case we are in the process related, I mean to say the pharma industry or a food-based industry, so then we typically use the process order scenarios. So let's talk about production orders for now. Once the production order has been created, the next step is basically to release the production order. So now what is the purpose of releasing the production order? So can't we go directly to the goods issue and the subsequent steps? So why should we release the production order? So the release process in the production order is basically to confirm that the operations that are defined in the production order, which are directly coming from the routing of the finished product and the components from the bill of material, have been checked thoroughly by the production supervisor. So now he has to give a green light saying that all the components and the operations are correct, and now you can go ahead with the production execution or start manufacturing the product in the shop floor. So only once the production order has been released, then the subsequent functions like the goods issue or the confirmation and the goods receipt will be allowed in the production order. So after the release has been carried out, the next step is basically to consume the raw materials or components from the storage locations, right? So these components will be picked from the storage location and will be moved on to the shop floor location where the actual activities takes place. So when we talk about activities, there are two terminologies that we have to take care here. One is the operations and the next one is the phase. So if we are in the discrete manufacturing or when we are using the production orders, we talk about the terminology as operations, right? But when we use the process orders, we use the terminology as phase. So one example of this phase can be the blending operation, right? So the blending operation in a pharmaceutical industry is basically to mix all the components, all the raw materials and the APIs into a blender, and then the blending operation is going to take place. Similarly, in the discrete manufacturing, an operation can be called as an activity that you're going to perform by using these components. So let's say the cutting operation or a milling operation, or it can be a drilling operation that will be part of your shop floor execution process. So once the components have been consumed, we go with the execution of the operation. So once the operation has been completed, the next step to post in the system that is the confirmation activity. So by confirming the operation on the production order, it means that that particular operation has been completed on the shop floor. So if we have like 10 operations, so you have to confirm all the 10 operations, which basically tells the system that the production order has been completed. And the next step is basically to push the finished product or the semi-finished into the goods receipt location. I mean to say it can be a production shop floor or it can be a QC location as well. So to make that happen, we have to perform the goods receipt activity on the production order so that the finished product or the semi-finished that you have intended to manufacture in the production order will be posted into the storage location. So depending on the quality inspection parameters, so let's say if you would like to perform a quality check after the production has been completed, so the stock will be posted into the quality inspection stock. And if there is no quality check needed, then it can be directly posted into the unrestricted use. So once the stock has been posted, there is no further activity left over on the production order by the shop floor team or the production supervisor, right? So he has performed all the planned activities such as the consumption of components, confirmation of activities, and then the goods receipt. So now from the production point of view, in order to mark the production order or a process order as technically completed, which means that no further activities are pending from the shop floor perspective, we have to set the status as, so TECO, it basically stands for technically completed. So only when we make this status active in the production order, that's where the production order will be removed. Stock will be replenished as soon as the goods receipt has been posted. But if we do not mark the production order as TECO, it will still show with the status as delivered. So no one would be able to say whether you have some kind of an open activity pending on this production order or not, right? So to make it clear, we are going to mark the status as TECO on the production order. So by marking the status as TECO in the production order, it will also indicate the costing department saying that the activities have been completed and now the production order can be taken into the settlement process. So where the costing team will basically perform the WIP calculations, they will do the result analysis, and then they will settle the production order to capture the actual cost incurred during the manufacturing process. So let's get into